My girlfriend cheated on me with her ex-boyfriend, got pregnant and made me believe the child was mine. I, 25Y, got cheated on by my 22-year-old girlfriend with her ex-boyfriend, and she made me believe the baby she was carrying was mine. There's a lot of events that preceded the said event of me being made to believe I was going to be a father. I met this girl about a year and 6 months ago. The R/ship kicked off nicely. She was a nice girl, at least I thought, and she was very pretty too. Our relationship was smooth sailing in the beginning, although we had issues here and there like any other couple. She was staying about 30 to 40 minutes from my place. I am already a young professional who has already finished school and kick-starting his career. She was in the course of completing her studies in a local university in the same town. So this meant she was staying at a student accommodation/residence, as they call it. You will remember how that setting is during our college life, when students would do all sorts of nasty things to each other when they are all under the same roof. I did not have a problem with this, as she would visit me regularly, almost every week/weekends most of the time. Things took a turn of the worst when the visits started becoming less frequent, and she would always claim she is busy or whatever silly excuse she had at the time. I didn't want to be selfish and want to have her all to myself with the little time she has to herself, considering she was a student and most of her time outside of school she would spend with me. That was my mistake. The visits became less frequent, and this bothered me as time went by because I had suspicions she was starting to spend time with somebody else. However, I didn't think too much into it, as I thought, oh no, she is an innocent girl and would never for whatever reason do such a thing to me given how good our relationship was. Wrong. I later discovered that she had been secretly meeting up with one of the ex-boyfriends who goes to the same college as her. How I found out would need me to write another Reddit story. I confronted her about it, and she had no choice but to admit it, as I presented her with an overwhelming amount of evidence proving the fact. At this point I also found out they have slept together, and I just wanted to know why. Why did she betray my trust like that, and what led her to the said incident, as I have been nothing but good to her. She insisted she was in a bad space and needed someone to talk to, and one thing led to the other, and she was sorry. She told me she would understand if I cannot forgive her of this act, as she is fully aware how wrong of her that was, and she would understand if I want nothing to do with her. I should have listened. I should have listened to her then. Because what is about to follow is a series of events that led to her making me believe the child she was carrying was mine. We talked things out and she apologized, and I had fully forgiven her for this, as she was sincere and sorry about what she did. Fast forward to 3 months later, we find out she is pregnant. Surprise. At this time she had told me that she had cut all communication with her ex-boyfriend and they weren't in contact in any way. I later discovered that she told him about the pregnancy. However, did not tell him that she was actually in a relationship and there is a potential father of this child, as she already knew what she had done. I confronted her about this and she confessed that she contacted him, yes, but her reasons were that she wanted him to back off so that she can continue living her life with me, who is the father of her child and partner. I gave her the benefit of the doubt. I will now fast forward to when the baby was born, and I went to visit them soon weeks after she went to labor. I spent time with them and everything was nice. We were happy that we were having a baby, and I was super excited of the idea that I am now a father. There were conversations preceding her going into labor between us pertaining the paternity of the baby, and I explicitly asked her, "Is there by any chance I am not the father of this baby?" She reassured me that I am the father and I should not be worried about me not fathering the child. Also, I was not about to question a heavily pregnant woman about the paternity of what could potentially be our baby. That made me feel horrible, and I stopped questioning her about this. Coming back to when the baby was born, 2 months after the baby was born, I later discovered that she had again rekindled her relationship with the said ex-boyfriend, and she was bringing the child for him to see behind my back. Mind you, this guy does not know that there is already an existing father of this baby. At this point I catch her out in the act and her whole lie is unrevealed. We fight over this and I request a DNA test done so we can finish this and rule out any uncertainty. We continue to be a couple and raise the baby together. However, I told her it was only fair for the other alleged father to also contribute towards the maintenance of the child until all facts are on the table, as I had been the one supporting them throughout her pregnancy and postpartum. This happens for a period of about 2 months before the DNA test is done. Early this year the results came out saying I am not the father of this child. I am distraught, to say the least. I am disappointed in myself and for putting so much trust in one person who did nothing but break it, and my heart into pieces. I have since kicked them out of my place with her child and told them they can go live their happy lives with their newly found family. To be honest, this hurts me so much. I don't go a day without thinking about them. I have already formed a solid bond with what was to be my child. Not to mention my said ex-girlfriend. All the life I knew and was preparing myself for is all gone now. I'm miserable AF. Comnet. Yeah, I mean, I kind of enabled the mistreatment in a way. I guess it's a hard lesson learned. Trying not to be hard on myself anyway. Yes, he should. He already knew that her girlfriend cheated on him, and instead of cut ties with her there, he decided to continue the relationship. Everything that happened after that decision is on him. Hey, it's not your fault, I disagree, her shitty actions are only her fault and her burden to carry. Cheaters are cheaters whatever partner they have. You go and find the women who will treat you right, like you deserve. Hey, it's not your fault, I disagree, her shitty actions are only her fault and her burden to carry. Cheaters are cheaters whatever partner they have. You go and find the women who will treat you right, like you deserve. After all the lies and cheating preceding the birth, it seems inconceivable why you would not have had the DNA test done upon the birth of the child. Why would you have believed anything this woman said to you, and do not say you were blinded by love? Other than showing total naivete, I cannot see how you could possibly have believed anything this woman said. Next story 2. I don't know how to handle my boyfriend making monkey jokes about my mixed dad. I have been with my boyfriend for a year now and he recently moved in with me. We generally have a great relationship, he's sweet, attentive and goes out of his way to make me happy, which I adore. The problem is that he seems overly invested in my ethnicity. He's white and I'm a quarter black. My dad is half black and my mom is white. I pass as white 9 months of the year. Not a lot of sun where I live, but my dad does not pass. My boyfriend makes the odd racist joke when it's just the two of us, but is usually complimentary. I love black women, or I hope our kids has your complexion. The incident happened earlier this week when we were out with a group of all white friends. He pulled out his phone and found a picture of a gorilla and then loudly said, "Hey, this is your dad," showing it to everyone. Everybody laughed. I did too, because I didn't want to cause a scene and ruin the evening for everybody, but I was furious. It is one thing to make a joke about me, but it feels different when the joke is about my dad. I feel like he crossed the line and intentionally disrespected my family and me in front of our friends. I pulled him aside afterwards and asked him not to make that kind of joke ever again. He apologized for hurting my feelings, and said that he wouldn't, but also defended himself by saying that my reaction was strange, as I too will make racist jokes and have never reacted badly before, so he thinks it's a bit hypocritical of me to tell him off, when I do it too. I admit that I make racist jokes too, but I feel like mine are more along the lines of "my mom always drives," because my dad tends to be pulled over kind of joke, which I feel is different somehow. I need advice. Is this surface level a single bad joke situation, or is it indicative of deep-seated racism that should make me rethink the entire relationship? Edit. I feel like I should add this for context. I'm from a non-English speaking European country, where less than 1% of the population is black. As English is not my native language, I also unfortunately wrote that my boyfriend and me makes racist jokes, which is not correct. I meant to say racial jokes. He's never been outright racist with me or I with him. For that same reason this situation caught me completely off guard and I froze and didn't know how to react. I realize that I should have spoken up or left, but I'm no good at handling conflicts. I realize that I unintentionally played along with racism, which I'm ashamed of. Comment. Shock, humiliation, fear of conflict pretty much sums it up. I am not proud of it. I understand that laughing is the wrong thing to do. I should have told them off or just left. I will be better prepared next time. Also, as a black woman, you might not know this because you have the privilege of passing, but when someone is making fucked up jokes and comparing your family members to an animal, the fact that they say they love black women, and want their children to have your complexion means that they want your children to pass, and are just fetishizing the exoticness of black women. Also, I'm not sure if you know how genetics work, but careful boo. Your child might not be as privileged as you and he'll probably think they're a monkey as well. Oh, and the fact that you're even thinking about staying with someone like this because it doesn't apply to you because you don't look like a monkey like the rest of us is why we call y'all passing people, privileged, and some folks in the community wouldn't even count you as belonging to it for accepting some shit like this. Look, you were the one who told it was a joke. I'm also a biracial, but I don't pass, but I'm less likely to be pulled over or followed by a security than my dark-skinned relatives, and I wouldn't joke about an experience that is painful and traumatic for them, but that's me and I agree that depends of the context. I don't even know you and I'm not trying to say if you black enough or not. It's not my place, but you sure tolerated a level of racism of your own friends and your boyfriend that makes me believe that you have the privilege of thinking is not about you to fit in. But regarding your problem here, you should drop your disgusting boyfriend and the friends who laugh because they are very racist. Look, you were the one who told it was a joke. I'm also a biracial, but I don't pass, but I'm less likely to be pulled over or followed by a security than my dark-skinned relatives, and I wouldn't joke about an experience that is painful and traumatic for them, but that's me and I agree that depends of the context. I don't even know you and I'm not trying to say if you black enough or not. It's not my place, but you sure tolerated a level of racism of your own friends and your boyfriend that makes me believe that you have the privilege of thinking is not about you to fit in. But regarding your problem here, you should drop your disgusting boyfriend and the friends who laugh because they are very racist.